Hi guys, it's me Fibro Chick, and today I'd like to talk to you about dealing with change. Change is an issue for many of us, especially with chronic illness like myself. I've got with the fibromyalgia, that's the Fibro Chick, and it's constantly changing. The ballpark, the parameters, the goalposts, they're always changing from one day to the next, 1 week to the next. So how do we stop ourselves despairing? I mean, it leads to despair, doesn't it? This endless change, this cycle of change. But even when you don't have chronic illness, you still get caught in a cycle of change. Things are constantly changing. Life is like that. I hope you like my doggy jumper. Let's throw that in there. So why can't we cope with change as a human race, or individuals? Yeah, why can't we? What makes us struggle? It could be a number of reasons. It could be fear. It could be that you're set in your ways. This is how we've always done it. This is how it's always been done. This is how I've always lived my life. You just not be accepting of change. It doesn't have to change. It's been good enough. I don't see things changing. I'm not going to accept the processes. I'm not going to work with it. It could be anxiety. You're just anxious about change. You don't know how to make the jump. It makes you want to clam up inside and bring on those classic anxiety symptoms. And it could just be a case of not really knowing how to change. I think that's a lot of the thing with me. I'm anxious and I don't really know how. I just don't really know how a lot of the time. People have all sorts of reasons, more than the few I've just named, for not being able to deal with change. And it really is a personal cross to bear, if you like. I do find it difficult sometimes. Like I said before, I just don't really know how to deal with change or how to make changes to be beneficial to me. One of the biggest changes I made in my life was starting Sarok dancing at the recommendation of a friend who saw that I was very socially anxious, didn't want to leave the house, and I couldn't even answer the telephone. And that was a big change because that made me go out. But it then caused changes in my life, in me, in how I saw myself, how I presented myself and how I acted. So for a very scary, anxiety building moment, it turned into something wonderful, and the change was very, very scary at the time, but then it bred into changes I didn't even know were happening, changes in me. So, I mean, not all changes are positive. I know that's really hard, and especially with chronic illness, you find a lot of the changes are, less than positive, downright crappy. I've had a change in my routine recently, not that there's a routine to fibromyalgia, but the chronic fatigue has been a lot worse, which means that's a change from a normal week. I'm usually really, really tired, but it's not been for a few years that I've been falling asleep like that. Like a light bulb, and you're out. Brilliant. I mean, I like sleeping, but not 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. No. I mean, it's our reactions to non-positive situations that dictate how badly they can affect us. If I, for example, was beating myself up heavily about, say, not doing my washing up, not getting things done, because I was sleeping a lot, that would just make the whole situation worse. I can't change what had to happen at that time. I had to sleep. I was tired, my body put me out. It wasn't even tired, it's exhaustion, and the measure of exhaustion, there isn't even a word for it. But if you've ever seen children try and fight sleep when they are so tired, they just sleep anywhere, that's the exhaustion that you get from fibromyalgia. You just look like a little kid that's falling asleep. And if you try and have a positive mental attitude about these changes, like with fibromyalgia pain, yes, being in constant pain may last forever, okay, I'm not gonna lie, they haven't found a cure, which kind of sucks. Somebody pulled their finger out because it hurts, but it's very changeable, isn't it? My fibro friends, and my other friends who don't have fibromyalgia, but pain, and fibromyalgia pain especially, is only a temporary thing. And my back may hurt tremendously today, but it's going to hurt less tomorrow, probably. It's going to hurt differently tomorrow. Or not hurt at all. And that's the changes. These little, that you try and accept and try and find the silver lining. Changes that you can't do much about, but you can do things about your attitude towards the changes. Oh well, I slept all the time. I didn't get anything done. Tomorrow's another day, the washing up can wait. It's fine. So, well, advice. I'm referring to my notes here. Advice for you guys on coping and dealing. Sorry, I'm being nosy, there's people running past my lounge window. Yeah, advice. Don't come crying to me, you little babies. Grow up. Stop hiding underneath your blankets. I'm only joking. I am. I'm only joking. My focus has gone. Thank you. I am only joking, guys. You know, cry to whoever you want. If you want to moan at me in the comments, just calling you a little baby and hiding on your blanket. I do. This is my favourite blanket right here. It belonged to my granddad. I love this thing. I wonder all the time. I'm surprised this thing doesn't come to dancing with me, but all my friends that come over, they know this one very well. You know, if I did have the answers, guys, I wouldn't be in a manner of discontent. Let's put it that way. I'm never happy. Are any of us ever happy? But, you know, advice will come thick and fast if you ask for it. People will have all manner of opinions on how to cope with change, how to deal with change, how they've dealt with change, how change has affected them. I mean, ask anyone. Ask your GP, ask your therapist, your physiotherapist, chiropractor, ask your family, your friends, your dance instructor, man on the street, your bus driver. And they'll all have different ways of dealing with change. There are 1,000,001 ways out there that people use deal with, or don't deal with in many cases, change and the changes that happen in their lives. Change is something that can define us as people, but it can also cripple us if we're not accepting of it in whichever way, shape or form. We haven't got a choice. The world is always going to change. We're always going to change. It's how you deal with those changes. And I find that if I ask for advice, if I don't know how to change or how to structure something, if I feel a little lost, which from time to time, guys, we do, and I'm not too proud to admit that I feel lost and I feel like my brain has exploded. It's just too much, I'm overwhelmed. You can't see the wood for the trees, I suppose, is a lot of what it is. And it's okay. It's okay to ask people for help. It's okay to go to your GP and say, I'm feeling anxious about change. I'm not sure how to cope. It's okay to ask dear Deirdre, you know, or any other agony aunt. I don't know agony aunts. I just know that one on This Morning. My favourite show of all time, This Morning. I love it. Hi Phil. Hi Holly. I love you. And I guess there is a little snippet of advice I can give you guys. And we're not going to go on much longer. I know my videos are sometimes a little long-winded, guys, but it's because you guys just love listening to me, and I love the sound of my own voice. I don't really, I hate it. I think it sounds awful. I've got a terrible voice. But there is, I digress. There is a little bit of advice I was given from a health coach. My health coach that I go to see, and it was to read a book. This one. It's called Who Moved My Cheese by Dr. Spencer Johnson. And it's an amazing way to deal with change in your work and in your life. Who Moved My Cheese? Now this is available, this is the adult one, but it is available in teenage and child's versions. Okay, not that I think this would be complicated for them to understand, but they do different versions which are slightly different for your different age groups. So if you've got a young person with you that's struggling with change, there's a young person in my life, I'm not going to say who they are, but they get a little anxious from time to time. This would help them as well. This is a book for self-help. Guys, it's a self-help book, basically, and the concept of it sounds silly. It's a very little book. How much self-help can you get from a little book? But it's not an overwhelming read. Okay, so just hold that up there so you can all get the measure of Who Moved My Cheese. Funny title, and you think, goodness me, what is this about? But I will give you the gist of it when I've found my notes again. It's a book, self-improvement book, a guide to helping people deal with change. I'll give you the gist of the... There's a little blurby story and there's a story within the story. So it's a story about some little people, some little bitty people, and some mice, and their journey in the maze to find cheese. Cheese is a metaphor, people. A metaphor for what makes you happy in life. Your end goals. Your work goals, maybe. Your achievement goals. The cheese is the change, if you like. Or the change is what gets you to the cheese. The cheese being the end result, your goals, your plans, aspirations, blah, blah. I'm not going to give the whole story away, obviously. You guys got to read it, okay? I borrowed this from my local library. It took them ages to get in, but if you live in the Gloucester area, I've got your copy. So sorry about that. But the libraries are able to get it in, okay? But I've been told that it's a few pounds on Amazon. It says on the back of this, oh, is it on the back? No, it doesn't say on the back. I thought it did. I thought it said it was £6.99 or something. Don't know. Don't know how much this is on Amazon, but it shouldn't be too much. It is only a small book. Or eBay, or book retailers. Other websites are available, folks. Disclaimer. It's definitely an enlightening book, and a simple concept to grasp. So, whatever your intelligence level or psyche level, emotional state, this is going to be able to work for you. And I found it so helpful to put things into perspective. You know, it's helped me gain the perspective, like I say, but helped me realise. Because sometimes you know these things, but it's not until someone slaps you in the face with them that they become blatantly obvious. You're like, oh my God, that was so obvious. Why couldn't I think of that when I was stressed out and sitting crying under my blankie because I can't cope with change? So, you know, this one does have to go back to the library, guys. I don't want to take it back. But I'm going to get a copy for my bookshelf, because since I've borrowed this, I've read it 3 times. 3 times. Like a weird claw. And I found it really, really helpful. And going over and over and over it again, you don't have to reread it loads of times. That was my prerogative. But going over it meant that I got a clearer view each time of what my cheese should be, what I think it is. And I'm going to get myself a copy of this lovely book to sit on my bookshelf, because it's going to be a guide that I'm going to want to reread. I'm going to want to put on my bookshelf, and when I'm feeling anxious, when I'm having those times of despair, I don't know what to do, things are changing too fast, I can't think, this will just make me grounded. It'll bring that perspective back again. It'll bring that realization back that you do know, that you can know, that you can find your cheese. And I will find my cheese. It's just a little far away from me at the moment. But I urge all of you to get a copy from your local library, or buy one if you want. Give it a try. It is a fantastic book. And as I say, it was recommended by my health coach from the GP surgery. It wasn't just something I've plucked out of thin air. It's been no namby-pamby, waffly, la self-help kind of thing. It's just a book, guys, but I think it'll help. All right, so sorry for the long talk, but go out there, guys, find your cheese and start dealing with change. And it's okay to tell people that you can't cope with change. It's okay. And a big change when I had my eyes done. I wore glasses for 30 years. Didn't know how to cope with that. So it's okay. I love you guys. Join me next time for another thrilling, exciting roller coaster ride. Like this one, obviously. But I'd love to see you again. Please drop me a comment in the box below, whatever that thing is. Hit the subscribe button, which I think is about here. It might be about here, depending on your computer or on which way round I am. Please, please tell all your friends and raise the message. Fibromyalgia is real. And it's okay to talk. Fibro, check out. Mwah.